All right. Rain drives hard against the jungle canopy. The party are a long way from the ruined keep, huddled under a rough shelter they've built. They're less worried about the rain and more worried about the creature that's been hunting them in the darkness. Back home, the ruined keep is strewn with oil lamps, and a nearby kitchen serves pretty good fried rice. The keep is always filled with people, day and night, with the bustle of low, murmured conversation, clinking of beer mugs, and occasional scuffles. Here in the jungle, the party only have the sounds of thunder above them, and the occasional screech of some unknown animal. Somewhere out there, they suspect Princess Minola has hidden amongst the trees, the mark that they are keen to find before Serene. They're all hunkered down, crouched on a rock, away from the unnatural black mist that rises from the jungle floor. Water pours heavy from the leaves around them, and they're soaked through in this humid heat. There's no sign of the creature that's been hunting them, but they can feel something, or someone is watching. Eyes in the darkness of the jungle. And that's where we'll pick up. We do have a first order of business, which is what animal did you pick in the end, Olivia? You can unmute yourselves.
I didn't go for night vision in the end. I went for dim vision, and I'm a raccoon.
A raccoon?
And you worry about me with the pigeon comments.
I'm glad you're not a rat. I would have. I mean, rats are fine, but I'd rather stroke a soft raccoon, because I'm telling myself you are a soft raccoon as opposed to a dirty raccoon, because you're Alithia.
Nice clean raccoon.
Yeah, they carry all sorts of diseases, raccoons. I mean,
No, they wash their food.
They wash their
Very
food.
clean.
they forage in bins and cause an absolute menace.
Look, we don't have bins in the ruined keep.
No, okay,
Stuff gets just chucked out the window, so, you know.
Real world.
Anyway.
Info. Sorry.
Don't break the fourth wall. What are you doing?
Just, Simon, I've sent you a message in Discord. Just something Frat is wondering.
It says, "Are we dead yet?"
It's not "Are we dead? Am I dead yet?" If I'm not, everything's fine.
Brilliant. Here we go. Oh dear.
All right. So I'll set up the TTS as we're getting ready. So you're currently crouched on rocks. I'm kind of assuming that actually Baja is probably closer to you, Adalbert, than I've got here.
Yeah, here.
It's like, get over, Ellie.
I'm a raccoon. I'm in his arms.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. You're in
Oh my God.
Adalbert's arms.
Zaymar is not there. He's like trying to get some distance from everybody, and as he moves quietly away from Alethea, he suddenly realizes he's moving closer to Bran, and then stops and freezes, and he's completely stuck. Gently hopping from one foot to another.
Do we look like we're going to rest, or do we look like we're going to be like productive and do stuff?
We do have a certain amount of the Hall of Whispers left, don't we?
Yeah, you've got 40 minutes, I believe.
40 minutes.
Yeah.
Very good.
Please, can we sleep?
I think that would be wise. Should we take watches?
Yeah, I'll take first watch.
Shouldn't I take first watch? I've got night. Oh, you've got night vision too. Never mind.
We all have night vision now for some reason, since that
Before
whatever
you
it was.
Before you have a kit, though. Someone's been bothering me. You said that this Astravi has blue eyes. I ain't never seen an Astravi with blue eyes.
I mean, do I think it was blue eyes?
Yes.
I wasn't.
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah. She also had scales. Astravi don't have scales normally.
All right, and whatever that lady was
Cream.
who we met.
Not a lady.
She was. She was just very tall and about 7 foot, from my recollection.
Well, Ellie, you'll know about this better than I. But if it's something to do with the princess is from Garcia, which is a different part of the continent.
Which princess? The one on the boat?
Yeah, the Mark.
If it's something to do with her
Wasn't she
telling us
from
is hunting her.
elsewhere? She was from
Garcia.
No, she was from Val something or the other.
Roll history, both of you.
History for 2 sessions ago.
Yes,
23.
Yeah, no, I'm not that high. I'm like 13.
13, okay. Yeah, Adalbert, you remember Princess Manola, the name Manola, you're assuming princess, is a royal name from Arasia, which is a different country.
What country, sorry?
Arasia.
Yeah, she was coming from Valo, or Valo, whatever the place is called. Who gives a shit?
Hello.
Anyway,
Sorry, Ellie.
but what were you
But
asking
you're right.
me?
Yes. I suppose I wonder. There is literature out there talking about how species change in different areas.
Mm-hmm.
It could be that the Astravi have different forms in different places. How they've developed.
I guess that's possible. Look, what happened was a while back. It seems like a long time, but it's actually quite short. We met up with Lady Derain in the tower in Bevazas, and coming through some kind of portal was this enormous woman, Lady Lyacreen, who we think is the female version of the Astravi. So this woman that we just saw in the jungle, it appears that she could be the same, but maybe there's something different about her. Maybe if she got corrupted, her eyes would go blue. Who knows? But she certainly had enough of the similar features to be at least from the same area.
Things go
So-
black
world.
when they're corrupted.
Yeah, Simon, can I ask you a question? We've seen Sturrock corrupted. What colour were his eyes?
Black. The mist was pouring out of his eyes, so it could have been a shade of brown or some other colour, but it was a very dark colour and probably
Stark
not blue.
Male Astravi.
Yeah, no, quite. All right. So if you're corrupted, your eyes go black. All right. But what if something else happens to you? Maybe your eyes go blue. I mean, you lot can do magic. What is it?
I don't
Could
know.
I, you know what Adalbert said about, like different environments causing essentially different species to evolve? Would I know anything about that? Like, given my experience with different animals and being in different kind of environments and planes and things like that?
You could certainly hazard some guesses. Yeah, roll. Do a dual roll. So nature and arcana, just to give me an indication on both sides.
Duel.
I just roll twice, nature and then arcana.
Right. So nature is 7, but
Okay.
arcana is 20.
All right. So you know that the Astravi are a magical race, and therefore the kind of environmental pressures you're talking about could create different genetical enhancements that are magical, you assume. And certainly the eyes that you saw were unnatural, and therefore it could be an environment effect.
You know what, Horatia? It's not often I say this, but you might be right.
Oh, good grief. But I think it's time to go to bed now. I think we should probably just go to bed. Just like leave Horatia up to stew on his watch and gloat or something.
If we're going to bed, then I'm going to, because I can see Adalbert snuggling up with Baha, I'm going to go and, sit on Zamar's lap in raccoon form.
Okay.
Or, no, not quite on his lap, next to him. Yeah.
In raccoon form, okay.
In raccoon form.
I'd like to point out to those who've joined us for the first time that they're currently using a spell called the Hall of Echoes, which is a magical spell that allows you to talk to each other with a telepathic communication. It's a bit like message, but it's for a group. That's why the raccoon is able to talk currently. I just thought I'd point that out. In case you're wondering.
Yeah, in case you're wondering, this is just one of those, extremely linguistic raccoons.
Okay, so you're beginning to settle down. Do you want to roll intelligence, all of you? A straight int check.
Straight in check.
Ooh,
it's to know that this is a bad idea.
Natural 20 plus 0.
Is it alright if I don't? I can't win. If I roll low, then so what? If I roll high, it's out of character, so I don't really want to do it.
Yeah, you can choose not to roll, sure.
I had an 18.
I chose to roll and just
20, natural 20.
Zamar is entirely too worried about this raccoon snuggling in to pay at all attention to anything right now. So there was 6.
Okay. All right. So as you watch the raccoon ferret its way around Adalbert, you're beginning to get concerned, Adalbert, that you're not visible. That was magical.
Adalbert has cast an invisibility spell. It's like, that's how you sleep. Brilliant. Yeah, that's great.
So both Adalbert and Alethea, you're sort of settling down, and the back of your mind, something's worrying you. This is kind of a bit of a reminder about last session as well. The last you saw of the creature that's hunting you, it was moving away and around, heading kind of south back in the direction you came from. It seemed unable to find you because Zamar had melted into the darkness. However, the last place that the creature knows you were unconscious, Alethea, is about 3 feet away. So as far as the creature is concerned, you were lying on the floor unconscious, and it then went looking for Zamar, I think. So you are an obvious place to come back to.
Do I feel like the creature was actively hunting us? Because it kind of left me, essentially. This is like an intuition-y sort of thing.
Roll insight. You can roll intuition if you want to call it that. So.
Angling for that at all. I don't think there is intuition.
No, there isn't, but
that wasn't bad.
Why not?
Yeah, special roll. So 18.
It's definitely showing the behaviour of a hunter. However, it's not completely following up on the hunt. You and Zamar were taken unconscious rather than outright murdered. So there's something off, but you're not quite sure what. You don't know this person at all, so it's hard to work it out.
Yeah, we would have been dead if it wanted to kill us, but it chose not to.
All right, there is.
Are there trees?
What?
Are there trees?
You're in the jungle. You're surrounded by trees. I'm confused about the question.
Are there trees on the rock?
Oh, right. Thanks. So you've got a large tree right next to you, which is extending branches out as the map shows. And then there are smaller shrubs. So Baha is inside the foliage of a shrub, as is Horathia, Zamar, and Bran the direwolf.
Can I suggest we... why don't we sleep in the tree?
As you say that, there is a sudden shadow above you that extends out, and it's just a momentary shape that expands, and suddenly above you is hanging the creature. 6 arms hanging down, still dripping slightly with blood from Zamar and Alethea, and bright blue eyes shining in the darkness. And for those who've just joined us, just to finish off the description, she's an Asian-looking young woman, but her arms have black leathery scales from the top of the arm all the way down to claws, and on the edge of the arm is white bone that ends in a sharp point and is sharp all the way down the edge, and there are 6 of those arms. However, she's wearing a blue silk dress, which is quite nice, with white lace around the collar and the arms. And thanks to Kevin, I've created an art breeder photo, which Mr. Roberts also created one, and I spent quite a while agonising over which one to go with. But I checked with a source to confirm age, and the one that you did, Mr. Roberts, was a bit too young, so I've gone with mine.
No worries, actually that was supposed to be someone else, that's fine.
Okay. So there we go.
Very glowing blue eyes.
Yeah. So she's hanging above you. The instant that she arrives, you need to make a wisdom saving throw. But accompanying that saving throw is this feeling of being invited. And it's a strange feeling because the moment you get that sensation of being invited, it feels very similar to the Hall of Echoes that Adalbert has cast. So everyone roll a wisdom saving throw.
Ooh.
Oh, yes. Sorry.
That's really good, actually. I didn't realise my saving throw was so good. Yeah.
21.
Oh, nice.
23.
Wisdom saving throw.
No, 22. Sorry, I can't add.
Seriously, you got what? Oh, my goodness me.
15, believe it or not.
You're just...
I'm not proud of it, but...
Okay.
Alethea
I
is
think
very
it's similar
wise.
to the Hall of Echoes. I'm not going to roll.
Okay. So those of you
Can
that...
I just hide as best as possible in Zamar's cloak?
You are a raccoon, so hiding is quite easy. You are quite a long way from Zamar right now, unless...
No, I thought I was sitting next to Zamar and snuggling up to him.
I thought you were snuggling to Adalbert, sorry. My mistake.
No, I said... No, I said Zamar before.
You got jealous of the attentions on Baha.
Yeah.
Okay. That's important, because that means you're nearer her.
I know, this is why I'm scared.
In the Hall of Echoes, Ratha's going to say...
Like 5 feet is going to make the slightest bit of difference to something that can probably kill us all in one go without blinking.
Don't make it sound. That's in our Hall of Echoes, obviously.
Okay. So yeah, Adalbert, you've decided not to make a roll. I won't block the sound for everyone because it may become relevant later. But you find yourself transported in a visual way into a court. Black and white marble floor. And there are courtiers all around you. They're wearing mainly sort of dark colours, blacks, dark purples and browns. A lot of lace. But everything you see is kind of, if you try and look at it, it immediately sort of fades away and doesn't quite work. As if, it's obviously not really there. It's definitely an illusion. It basically is like the Hall of Echoes, but with visual.
Question, yeah.
Yeah.
Am I able to do anything?
I'll finish the description first,
Okay.
but this basically you all did this wisdom saving throw, and then Adalbert has joined this thing, which I'm just describing. So Adalbert.
Oh, okay.
Adalbert's
in there. The rest of us aren't.
Yeah, Adalbert, you are currently in this hall, and you can see direct across you, as if all the shapes and the people around you are there, but they're not there. You can see something very clear, which is the same woman, but she has a normal appearance and only 2 arms. And she's got a kind of little stick with a masquerade mask of black feathers and gold, and she's holding it up to her face and looking directly at you. And you're currently in this illusion. It feels like you're like 20 foot away or something. So you've just entered this experience. Right, so what did you want to do, Zemar?
I am going to take out the necklace that I found in the boat, and I'm going to hold it out up to her. See if that makes any difference.
Okay.
Can I
Alithia?
see him do this?
Hang on, let's just go one by one. So, Alithia?
I am a raccoon.
Yes, this is true.
So I'm just going to hide and pretend that I am a normal raccoon that just has got a bit friendly.
Brilliant.
All right. Roll performance with advantage. Because A, you are a raccoon, and B, you know raccoons very well.
Here comes the big
Wow.
girl,
Okay,
the
hold on.
raccoon girl.
Yeah, that's actually really good.
Oh my god.
Still -2. So that's 18 minus 2, 16.
16, right. Yeah, that's pretty good. So everyone who knows that Alithia is a raccoon sees the raccoon do raccoon things. You probably don't notice that that's particularly impressive, but that's a very genuine looking raccoon. Hopefully we've only lost Mads temporarily.
Can you hear me still?
Yes, we can hear you. Your picture
Yes.
has died at the moment.
Okay, fine. I'm going to stop my video.
Good
Wait,
idea,
I'm gonna
yeah.
change
Just
my
start and
video.
stop it.
Yeah. Now we just get the leaves.
I do like the leaves, though.
And
That's
then-
quite
Yeah,
nice.
the leaves are good actually.
No.
This is-
Meanwhile,
No.
Horacio, you do see Zemar take this necklace and hold it out.
Right. Just so we were all hidden before, yeah. So by doing that, he's basically revealing himself. That's a true statement.
Yes.
Yeah. You fuck! What are you doing? We don't know. She can see us.
I don't say. I'm just holding out this thing and just
Okay, so we're not
See
exactly in initiative yet. So, Horacio, what do you want to do as well as speak, or is that it?
Well, I mean, he's keeping quiet. He's getting ready to draw weapons and stuff. But this is the first time that he's actually seen this woman.
Yes.
So, how does Horacio think she compares to the one that we saw in Lady Drain's castle in Babazas?
In the tower.
In the tower, yeah, sorry.
This woman is short. I mentioned 5 foot something. She looks about 5'3", 5'4". She's very slender. She looks like she's in her early 20s. So in terms of sheer muscle mass, body weight, very light by comparison.
I suppose what I'm really asking is, the picture you got there is a very human face. Now, I thought that this woman that we met in the tower was scaly all over.
You're talking about Lady Leocane?
I don't know what her name is. I can't remember. Okay. It's in my notes, but it's so far back. It's umpteen pages. So that's what I'm using her as a comparison.
Yes, correct. Lady Leocane had a dark leathery skin all over, including the face.
So if anything, she looks like she's half human and half whatever they are.
Astrali or whatever, female Astrali.
Yeah. So you're taking all this in an instant, having spoken to Zamar. Is there anything else you want to do?
No, I'm getting ready to fight.
Okay, Alicia, any movement?
How far? Like, she's in the tree, isn't she?
She's hovering above you. She's hovering above you in midair, about 15 foot, 20 foot up.
Can I hide in the bushes? I don't think I want to move.
Sure.
I'm not going to get far away enough. There's no point.
You can hide where you are, if you like.
Yeah.
All right.
I hide.
Okay. So let's go back to. So Adalbert, you joined this palace of echoes.
Mirrors, yes. Oh.
And you're currently looking across at this woman looking very different. What do you do?
I would like to take a courtly bow and say, I am Grand Inquisitor Adalbert, Gnostic of Dampau, librarian of the Golden Leaf. May I inquire as to whom I have the pleasure of meeting?
Okay, so bear in mind in this illusion you're 20 feet away. In reaction, she starts to lower her masquerade mask and sort of looks down at you. Looks across at you with her head down. But at the same time, Zamar's just held out her necklace. Are you saying anything while holding it out?
I will say, I found this in the ship. I return it to you.
So if you right, she chops your hand off.
And I'll go down on one knee and and then raise it up so I can be like, sure, I'm offering it as a kind of a gift.
I didn't detect, as DM, any deception in what you said.
No, I am trying to offer it as a gift.
So roll persuasion.
Yeah. Yeah. There's I thought about that, but like, what am I going to do? Trying to see. Yeah, no, unfortunately. So that's a 12. Unfortunately, I'm not too bad at persuasion.
Okay, so I'm going to go fairly slowly with this encounter because I don't want to get anything wrong. And obviously,
I die.
Yeah, there are serious consequences. And also, it's going to get slightly complicated because there are two realities happening at the same time. So I'm going to constantly switch between the two. But she started 15 to 20 feet hanging above you. The only thing she can see is potentially a raccoon that scurried off into the darkness and you holding out this necklace and kneeling down. She begins to descend because you held out the necklace. But at the same time as she's descending, her arms sort of come away from where they were. They were sort of hung down and ready for fighting. And her arms go backwards, so that they're now spread down her sides. And her body begins... She was sort of hanging over you with her hair down. As she comes down, she begins to straighten up, and is now fixated on the necklace. Her eyes are burning bright blue, and as she gets closer, you can see that there's no discernible black mist. What is discernible is these cuts I mentioned before have black shadow coming out of them instead. So it's a very subtle distinction, but it is different.
Brilliant.
Meanwhile,
now I'm terrified.
Meanwhile, back to Adalbert. You've just introduced yourself. She's lowering the masquerade mask in this illusion. And when she does so, you can see she has the same eyes. They are bright blue. And as soon as the mask is away from the eyes light up almost like headlights, just turning on, looking in your direction. And it's quite hard to look at these eyes. It's like looking into the sun. You have to squint. But apart from lowering the mask and looking in your direction, there's no other action from her.
Do I see that I am presented the same as I am, wearing the same clothes with the same gear, etc.?
So you have a quick look down. You're actually presented in a very kind of dreamlike way. When you try and look at your clothing, you have a memory of something, but you can't see anything. It's almost like you're in a dream, so you can't tell how you're presented exactly.
I take a few steps forward, but not probably about a couple of feet, and stop and look around and say, "This is a wonderful space. I can do something similar, but not on this scale. I am exceedingly impressed."
You can see a slight smile on her lips. Apart from that, she's still just watching you intently. And we will switch back to reality. Alithia, you're currently hiding in the bushes. Did you want to move at all, or are you staying where you are?
Can I... Am I going to do something stupid, or am I going to be smart? Her main weapon.
I mean, don't worry. I'm just literally blades and inches from my face.
Her main
whatever.
weapons, are they like the weapons that are part of her body?
She has nothing apart from a dress, and so she's not even wearing shoes. She's bare feet. And these bone curved blades on 6 arms.
Okay, I'm going to move then, and I am going to stealthily try, as if I'm just pretending I'm just rummaging for, I don't know what raccoons eat, rummaging for food amongst the undergrowth, and just not really kind of paying much attention to the and kind of scurrying away from the humans sort of thing. And I'm gonna try and move around so that I am near Bran and away, like going away towards Bran, and I'll do that as a I'll do that as an action and a movement, and I've got 20 feet.
Can I see her move? I mean,
well,
and I'm doing it stealthily. So
I was about to ask: are you foraging for food stealthily? Which animals, of course, do.
Yeah.
All right.
Like not so stealthily that it's weird, but like just like an animal, but like an animal that's not drawing attention to themselves.
Oh, a raccoon foraging for food at night. I'm sure there's plenty of predators around. So
it's looking over its shoulder and keeping its back to the wall.
And sneaking like...
and just happens to be wandering over to the large dire wolf. The stupidest raccoon ever. Like,
all right. Yeah, roll stealth.
oh dear.
So how far do I get? Not really bad.
We're not really in initiative, so you can go to Bran. That's fine.
Yeah,
well, no, I want to go past him. I want to like keep going.
Oh, sure. So I will consider you moving away as you wish. Yeah, let's get the stealth roll, see if Harathia sees you.
Yeah, no, that was I don't think I get anything for stealth.
Okay.
Stealth is an intelligence, is it?
It's a dex base.
No.
So, yeah.
It's a dex. So it says my dex is 15 as a raccoon.
Oh, you mean, do you get anything as a raccoon?
Yeah. I don't think I do. Well, I might do. 15 means that, like,
15
I
is
should...
+1 or something.
Yeah. Fun. I think it's a +2, actually, because 16 is +3. So, okay, so, well, that's still a 12.
Okay. So...
You're right. Yes. 15 is definitely +2.
So you got 12, did you say?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say Harathia just has an idea of where you are, sees you going in and out of the shadows. It's not a perfect... because you're right on the cusp there, but Harathia did know that you were heading off.
Yeah,
So
it was the fact she was headed towards Bran. You could tell that.
yes, I would say so, yeah.
All right, so in the Hall of Echoes, it'll say, if you reveal Bran, I'll fucking skin you and put your pelt in the bar at the ruined keep.
I'm just going to ignore him and just keep going. Well, no, I won't just ignore him. I will, like, internally, like, I'm not going to say this out loud, go like...
All right, as soon as you start moving towards Bran, the blue eyes shift and the face snaps around. And you notice that these eyes actually almost cast a gentle light in the direction that they're facing. So for a brief moment, the foliage and everything that you're sort of moving through has a subtle blue tinge to it. And then she looks back at the necklace. So it seems as though she thinks you're a raccoon.
Get in.
Meanwhile, she's straightened up and is now landing next to you, Zoma. So she's gently, her feet are coming to rest on the ground. So she's now standing over you because you were kneeling, weren't you?
I was kneeling down and I'm sort of holding the necklace up to her. So I'm trying to be, as if I was like a subject or something like that, sort of head down, offering it. Kind of.
She gives you a small nod. And then one of the hands comes over and rotates slightly so that the tip of this bone blade can scoop the necklace out of the palm of your hand.
I turn my hand to sort of make it easier for her as she does so.
Okay. She's not looking at
Slowly.
the necklace. She's holding your gaze. So she's staring at you very intently.
I am going to be absolutely blank at this point.
How dexterously is she using these bone things
enough to skin
He's
me.
just going on a hunch
you know?
here, but
roll insight with advantage. It's not very difficult to work this out.
well, it is for me.
No. I'm like,
That's a shame, but actually,
it's
something
literally
that
like Zamar's
Five.
worst nightmare. It's like everybody he's in the worst position, and everybody else is off doing their own thing.
yeah, that was a 5. I mean, I'll tell you why I'm asking the question. I want to try and gauge how natural it is for her to use these things.
Oh, I see. I.e., has she been using them for a long time or whatever?
Yeah, or she just had them.
Right. She was pretty accurate picking up the necklace, but that could have been luck. It's dark. You're pretty close, so you can see what's going on, but you're also trying to keep an eye on the raccoon. You're worried about Bran, so you're a bit distracted. So it's hard to read.
Okay.
All right. She's now got the necklace tipped up on the bone blade, so that it slides down the blade to where her hand is, and she grabs it between a thumb and a finger, and sort of holds it up so that she can see you and the necklace. This is really going to get complicated. She's going to enter into 2 conversations at the same time.
Oh,
I don't know why I do this to myself. I'm going to start with Adalbert, actually. What was the last thing you said, Adalbert?
I complimented her on the Palace of Echoes.
She lowers the mask completely away from her face. Thank you. Please. And she beckons you. What do you do?
I bow my head gently and approach, stopping about comfortable distance, about 3 feet in front of her.
Okay. So even in this illusion, her blue eyes, she looks you up and down. So she started staring intently into your eyes, and then she looks down and up again. You get the feeling that she can see something that you can't. And as she does so, you also can see out of the corner of your eye this kind of blue tinge moving up and down in the illusion. Why are you here?
I was hoping you'd be able to tell me. May I presume I am talking to Princess Minora?
She tilts her head to one side, and you notice that in this illusion, her hair is very, very slightly curly, but is long black hair and beautiful presentation in this illusion. Whereas in real life, it's matted and wet and plastered to her face. And as she tilts her head, the hair just sort of falls down to one side, and she looks at you curiously. I am Princess Mayanara. Manola is what
It is an honor.
stupid people call me.
It is an honor. We found your ship and tracked the creature that killed people inland.
He just tilts her head to the other side. All right, so just to make things complicated, let's switch back to Zamar. So currently, Alithia, you're sneaking off. As the conversation continues, we're not in initiative, so the conversation is fairly slow, and there's plenty of time to move. So how far do you want to go?
I'm not going to go that far.
Okay.
How far could she move in one movement?
You asked the question before. I think you struggled to determine exactly, but you reckon it was more than your movement speed.
Okay, fine. Okay. Okay. So, raccoons have opposable thumbs, right?
I have to apologise. I didn't prepare what raccoons can or can't do.
They can do. They're pretty dexterous. They can pick things up with two hands like a squirrel does.
Okay, I will consider the two Chris's as the raccoon experts and bow to their knowledge. Yes,
I have
sure.
seen a raccoon.
Opposable thumbs.
So I am going to basically look for sticks that are relatively hefty and quietly file them down, so to make like mini raccoon sized spears.
Okay.
In preparation.
Okay, fine. So you're going to start chewing away at the sticks and start making raccoon spears. At about, so you're currently 5, 10. You're about 15 feet away from her at the moment.
Okay.
You're going to throw a raccoon-sized spear at a thing that has wiped us out instantly. Oh my gosh.
All right. Meanwhile,
I'm so glad Zamar does not know what you are doing.
I'm just making a little pile of them.
Oh gosh.
So there's probably it's difficult to do that 100% stealthily because you have to make a chewing noise. So there's probably the sound of undergrowth and like a creature making a chewing noise, but the jungle's full of that kind of a noise. So from that point of view, it's quite stealthy. Horathia, while this is going on, you can now see this woman is standing over Zamar, holding the necklace, and the conversation has started. Is there anything you want to do?
I am ready to either attack or defend Zamar, but until things get combat-y,
okay, all right.
He's going to hold it.
All right. Well, interrupt me if you want to change and do anything. Okay. So going back to Zamar, what was the last thing you said?
I actually didn't say anything. I just offered her the necklace, and then she said she was inviting me into something, or you were going to do another thing or something, spell thing. You were going to have two conversations at once or something like that. So I don't know whether she's having a conversation out loud with me or...
Yeah, she is.
Okay.
So she's holding the necklace in front of you, and she puts out one of the 6 hands, and the claws just kind of make a curt gesture to stand up.
I will slowly stand up, but keep my head bowed.
Okay, and you're 5'10" or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, well, but by the time you come to a standing position, you're sort of looking down on her.
Oh, she's small. I thought she was.
She's 5'3", 5'4", something like that.
Okay.
So she's looking up at you. Where did you find this?
The boat. It is, and I will look in the direction. A good distance in that way. How do I? Was it a couple of miles or something? I can't remember how far.
Yeah, you spent about half an hour walking, so
yeah,
2-3 miles away.
Yeah. Yeah, so probably 2 miles less. It is that direction. not more than 2 miles. The boat was there. It is taking on water. We searched it. We found the crew dead, and I found this necklace in the cabin at the back. It was a trireme. Is this familiar to you?
Thank you. This is mine. And she hasn't got any pockets. She's just going to hold it and continue looking at you. Why are you here?
We were sent to find you.
By who?
This is where it becomes difficult. I will explain, and if you will let me completely explain before taking action.
A few words, please.
We were approached by Serene, who I believe attacked your boat and sent to find you. We elected to look for you.
Stop. Serene made a hole in my boat.
That's what she said.
And she told you to find me.
Yes.
So you are hunting me?
No. I believe that we are here to help you.
You believe?
Yes.
Explain.
Everything that I have seen does not make me believe Serene. I do not trust her. She once nearly killed me.
Okay. This is politics, I suppose.
Perhaps.
What do you want?
I want to offer you my service. I believe that I can help. Perhaps. If you do not need my service, we will leave. But we believe that these people here, the group that I came with,
Okay.
we believe that we can help you.
Few words. I want to find the artist who paints boats. I want to meet Lord Match, and I want accommodation. And I need accommodation that has good travel, so boats, not horses. And I want to meet Lord Harathia. And I need soldiers who will take orders. And I want 20 dresses, Southern Wildlands.
I will hold up a finger, waiting for her to stop talking. I believe I can help you immediately on one of those things. I believe I can direct you to Lord Harathia right now. He is here.
Interesting.
It's where Zamar hopes that he doesn't get stabbed in the back by Harathia.
But I can talk to you on the Hall of Echoes, but I'm going to say, I'll reveal myself when I want to fucking reveal myself.
Indeed.
Is Lord Match dead? Is he one of the lords that we killed? I think he is.
I remember Lord Match. I do not. Well...
Yes, he was the baddie.
Find out which was with Lord Match.
All right.
I can direct you to Harathia.
Hang on, hold that thought.
Sorry.
Hold that thought.
Yeah, no.
All right. So for those that are watching, it's getting more complicated. We now have 3 conversations going. So the party are all in the Hall of Echoes and able to talk to each other, but it takes an action to do so. Zamar is talking to Princess Mayonara, and doing so with his voice. Meanwhile, Adalbert is talking to Princess Mayonara in an illusion. So let's switch back to Adalbert. Hold that thought, Zamar. You've just said Lord... Did you say Lord Harathia or Harathia?
I said I can introduce you to Lord Harathia.
Okay.
He is here.
He is here. Yeah, I thought you said.
Where.
All right. I'm just going to make a note of that so we can come back to those exact words. because they matter.
Bruising for a bruising.
Okay, cool. All right, so Adalbert, you also were asked why you're here. What was the last thing you said?
I said we'd found her boat and we're tracking the creature inland.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Because
Tanton.
at the same time, and you're unaware of this, Zaymar also started talking about her boat. So, actually, roll insight.
10.
She's very hard to read. She keeps a very blank face most of the time. You saw a slight smile earlier when you complimented her, but apart from that, there's been very little expression. She's obviously been trained quite well in hiding expressions. She looks at you intently again and says, "Why do you know my boat?"
We were sent to find it.
And you see a slight smile on her lips at this point. But you can't work out why. I'm going to hold that original insight roll for a bit. Who sent you?
A woman named Serene.
Why?
That is what I hoped you to tell me. I am no fan of Serene's, and I was warned her goals would be against mine. And as the adage goes, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. And I nod curtly.
So you are my friend, you tell me?
Well, I hope so.
I am Princess Mainara of Garcia.
I bow lowly.
We are not friends.
Yet, Princess.
Roll persuasion.
On adelberation to the rescue.
True 20.
Natural 20. All right. Let me just adelberation every time.
That's fantastic.
Then let us see how we can be friends. I find you in this jungle, and you agree to speak with me, and that is good. So now, what will you do for me?
What is in my power, and what I'm willing to do.
And your friend?
Which one?
The human.
Which one?
The one I am currently speaking to outside of this palace.
Do I have any notice of what's going on outside of the palace?
No, you can only see the illusion at the moment.
No.
You probably hear Zaymar, though. Yeah, you can hear Zaymar, so you would have heard the conversation, but it's very difficult to focus on both, so you'll need to roll a perception roll if you want to distinguish the sounds?
I think I would have been more focused on in here.
Okay.
But I would have been able to hear it was Amor.
Yes. You'd recognise his voice, yeah.
Whilst all this is going on, like, kind of reading the room, how much does it look like, you know, that everyone's gonna start attacking, and is it like that sort of circumstance? Or does it seem like this is like a tense negotiation now?
I don't know, what do you think? Roll insight.
Oh, furry. Here comes the raccoon spears.
That's really good. Wait, hold on. I've got my insight, right? My insight's really good. I think my insight is +5. No, +3. Yeah. Okay, that's 18.
Okay. She relaxed her arms fairly early on. She took a necklace and is now having a relatively detailed conversation with Amor. You can't read Zamar very well, so it's difficult to say whether he thinks it's a tense negotiation or not.
Okay.
And you don't know her very well, but certainly the two of them are currently conversing in a fairly relaxed manner. However, from their posture, you would guess that they could both spring at each other at any moment.
Okay.
I think that's accurate, right, Zamar? Sorry.
Yeah, with the slight thing you said at, I think you replace that with away. You know, tiny.
Sorry, yeah.
Okay.
Wrong direction.
Are there any flowers and like kind of, you know, like dried out like bits of leaves that kind of, you know, form like twiney sort of thing on the floor?
Yeah, there's plenty of different foliage you can gather. It's autumn now,
okay,
but there's a lot of flowers still. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna get a flower,
okay.
and I'm gonna get like some of the like twiny leaves, and I'm gonna wrap a flower around one of the spears.
Okay.
Okay, and then I'm gonna toddle over to them with this.
All right, so there is an incoming raccoon with opposable thumbs holding a tiny little spear with a flower on it, moving in a natural way.
Yeah,
okay.
Like, you know, like I'm not like rolling over doing roly-polies like raccoons do, but you know how they're like a little bit waddly.
So apart from the tiny spear with flowers on it, it's a completely normal raccoon.
Yeah.
All right.
That's got to be fairly attention-grabbing, isn't it? So at the same time, I want to, with utmost stealth, circle around so I'm standing behind this one.
Okay, roll stealth.
Oh, had I not done it last session? Or is this a new one?
A new one.
Oh, crap. Because I did quite well last session. I was hoping it was continuing.
Yeah, you're moving out of cover, unfortunately.
Oh, I don't want to move out of cover. I want to stay in cover.
I mean, you're leaving your original hidey spot and moving, so it's a new stealth roll.
Quick question then. If it all goes wrong, as it probably will for reasons, can I just... Will I know it? It's one of those sort of things. Do I know that, oh, crap, I stepped on something, for instance?
Oh, you mean as a player you'll see the roll, but as a character
as a character, will I know that I've done a bad job? Because then he'll want to fake that he was standing up all along, sort of thing.
Well, let's put it this way. Imagine she had a passive perception of 15, right? And you roll 14. You don't know what her passive perception is. So at that point, you as a player and a character, you wouldn't be sure. If you rolled a 5, I would say both of you know.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'll take my chances. Right, so I shouldn't have taken my chances. Yeah, okay. So that was 11. So on that basis, then, not knowing what our passive perception is, I'm going to stand up. But if I can, I'll stand up astride towards the back of her. So I might have flanking out of...
So you're quickly going to turn a poor attempt at sneaking around into a natural, oh, here I am, and then move behind her.
Yeah, effectively. I mean, I was obviously trying to move anyway, so at the point I think it's gone wrong, unless I'm standing up, so I'm hopefully slightly around the side of her a bit. Okay.
So the sequence of events are, you were crouched down with some cover that Zamar had helped build for you. As you sort of push away the fronds and the leaves and start moving, the instant you go from a crouched position to moving and pushing your hand out, the eyes and the head snap round, and you've got this blue tinge actually on your hand within milliseconds of you taking that action. So you're not even at that point really trying to roll stealth. She's already watching you.
Fine. I'll just stand up as though that's all I was meaning to do anyway. And I'll fold my arms across my chest and say, I'm Rathir. What do you want?
All right. Let's go back to Adalbert. So you've just suggested that that you could be friends, and she asked what can you do, and started talking about Zamar. Now you recognise that it was Zamar's voice, so you know that she's referring to him. But you've now just heard Horathia's voice as well. What do you do?
I guess, okay. You have met both humans.
Would you care to introduce them?
The tall, aggressive one is Horathia. The other is Zamar.
You just lost your green screen.
It's him.
It's very dramatic, though.
He's now out of the illusion.
Yeah, time's run out.
Yeah.
Very high tech, clothesline setup.
Roll insights, Adalbert.
6.
Okay, the eyes flash when you say Horathia's name, and she frowns, but when you complete the introduction, she nods. Your name is Adalbert?
Yes, Princess.
Grand Inquisitor Adalbert?
My reputation precedes me.
Thank you for your introductions. I don't need you anymore. And the illusion drops. You are in the forest, crouched in a hidden position with your shoulders pressed against the thick muscle of Baha's shoulder.
So I'll stand up.
Okay. Same thing happens when you stand up. Her head snaps to your direction and the eyes focus on you and then come back to Zamar. And then looks down at a raccoon with a spear and some flowers.
Flowers are attached to the spear as if it's like like you would put a gift tag.
I try to diffuse this by saying, I gesture and say, please meet Alethea.
She nods and looks over at you, Alethea. And for the first time, you're holding out the spear. Yeah. For the first time, you see this very impassive, very straight-faced, apart from some frowns and a touch of anger. You see the face sort of, the hidden face collapse, and she starts laughing. And you can hear from the sound of the laughter that she's you can hear her age as well. Suddenly you hear this sort of early 20s giggle almost. And she cuts it off as if, oops, she's let it slip. But and her face suddenly goes serious again. And she turns to you, Zema. Alethea is a small animal.
I'm already shaking my head. She has some kind of forest magic that allows her to change shape.
I see. Just get this into picture.
Arthur actually tried standing out where he was because as soon as she saw him, he didn't try bothering to move. He just stood straight up.
Oh, you're not trying to flank. Okay, cool. So basically where you were.
Yeah.
All right. It's not really. You haven't said anything, but roll persuasion anyway, Alethea.
So bad at this.
Raccoon body language.
Wait, do I get my own persuasion, or is it like the raccoon's persuasion?
I would say,
Actually,
because of the circumstances, whichever is higher.
Raccoon persuasion.
Yeah, I agree with you, Kevin. It's kind of, there's a cuteness factor. So if the raccoon's charisma is higher, then you should use that.
No, the raccoon's charisma is not higher. The raccoon's charisma is 5 minus 6.
It's outrageous.
I know. And I rolled a 5, so that makes it a 3.
All right. You handle the sort of opposable thumbs really well, and the whole making the spear was relatively straightforward. But this holding up a spear with flowers on it and trying to make it look like a present, and there's a lot going on. And as you lift it up, the flowers sort of drop off, and you end up holding a spear pointing at her, and it all goes a bit wrong. But she's laughing, and she asked Zema about Alethea, and she's now looking down at these sad little flowers and a little spear, and she reaches an arm over, and it looks like she doesn't care whether it threatens you in any way. So you've got this pointed blade of a bone sweeping towards you, and then she sort of reaches down and lifts up the flowers that you deposited on the ground by accident, and lifts them up and turns to you, Zema. And this?
A gift. A traditional gift from the Trillan people, the village that we came from. It is a local custom. I do not understand why she does these
fuck
things.
Off, is it? Jeez, I never heard such bullshit in my life. What do you want?
You're saying that to her, presumably, not to Alethea.
I'm saying the bullshit to Zema because it's not what Trillan's about, and I'm a bit annoyed by it. But then I'm saying to her, "What do you want?"
Okay. She glances over in your direction, Adalbert, and Bahar at this point is also standing up as everyone has stepped out of their cover. She glances over at you, Adalbert, and stares at you briefly, and then looks back at you, Horatia, and her entire body, she sort of shuffles around so that she's now facing you, Horatia. So she's got her back to you, Zamar. And she just kind of looks up at... So you're 7 foot something, aren't you?
7'2".
She's only 5'3" or 4". I'm going to stop saying 3 or 4. She's 5'4", and she's now looking up at you, and her face goes completely flat again. Lord Horatia?
That's right.
You own this?
What's she gesturing at? The
wildlands.
The jungle.
Yeah, she's talking about the wildlands.
Right.
And as I do so, I casually circle round so that I can get in her field of vision.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm in charge.
And Zamar is your servant?
Yeah, that's right.
Now we call bullshit.
All right, fair enough. He works for me.
Okay. So, I told him what I need. I want to move to the accommodation immediately. I need to get my possessions, so if you can take them, that would be good.
Look, you're talking as though I know what you're on about. This is the first I've heard of anything. What is it that you want? I've heard your demands, but why are you here?
I think I already told Zamar this.
She wants to see Lord Match. She wanted to see you, and she wanted to travel to her accommodations.
Yes,
Can I say
yes.
in
This
the Hall
is
of
this.
Echoes?
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Yeah.
In the Hall of Echoes. We killed Lord Match. What are we gonna do? Is she gonna kill us if she knows he's dead?
No.
What do you want with me, and what do you want with Lord Match?
Yes. So I have spoken to Zamar about what I need, and this is not a good place for conversation. I have already killed many elves, and if we are to talk, then here is not the right place.
Trillin?
I do not mind, as long as you have the accommodation I need.
Look, you're in my territory now. You might be a princess, but I ask you one simple question. What do you want with me, and what do you want with Lord Match?
In the Hall of Echoes, I go, technically, Horatia, that's 2 questions.
I'm going to say in the Hall of Echoes, Horatia, don't antagonize the lady with beads for arms.
I'm not trying. I'm actually not trying to intimidate her. Believe it or not.
So, something that the people
Just
watching
as friendly already.
something that people are watching are unaware of. We at one point established that Horatia has a passive intimidation. So, are you going to take some efforts to not be intimidating?
What he's trying to do, this is what he's aiming for.
Okay.
So yes, I'm trying not to be intimidating, but I am trying to be in charge of this place. So I'm not bowing and scraping and stuff, because this is my territory, and I'm just trying to project the sort of air that she's obviously projecting herself, albeit she's maybe a bit more lethal than I am.
Record that to Twitch, please. That was on the clips.
Where's the highlight button?
Yeah.
That's
I'm
the
gonna
player,
rewind that
I'd say.
one, please. Somebody put in the time marker for that one. Thank you very much, James. Thank you, James.
All right. So I would say, in a weird way, this is still intimidation, but not something that's going to make her threatened by you. This is more you trying to project that you own the place and therefore have the right to speak to her in that way. So roll intimidation.
18.
Everyone roll insight.
16.
15.
6. I'm a lot smaller than everyone. I can't see everything.
I was about to say, your little raccoon face, you're looking up, and it's hard to make out what's going on. There's a massive leaf in front of you as well.
Yeah.
What did you get, Horatia?
18.
So 2 18s, I think. And then what did you get, Seymour?
I was on 15.
15. So the 18s...
I got to 16. Sorry.
Oh, 16, okay. So, Horatia, you got the highest.
You got 18 for intimidation, but you got 18 for insight as well.
Oh, sorry. I must have missed that. Sorry.
Thanks for the correction there.
I know, it was like,
I was
really?
just like, this is too good to, yeah, really? Yeah,
I
can't
don't want an
bullshit,
18 for insight, to be quite honest with you. Let's find out. 12. So actually better than I'd like.
All right. So Zaymar and Adalbert, you instantly spot her back stiffening, and not in a tense way. She's actually just become slightly more regal, which is hard to pull off when you've got 6 arms and a dress that's torn to fuck, and
dreadlocks.
And basically dreadlocks, yeah. But she does become more regal, and she's looking at Horatia in a slightly different way. You can't tell from those rolls exactly what the difference is, but it's perceptible. I suppose you want to know why I'm in the jungle murdering elves.
Yes, start. But more particularly, I want to know why you want to speak to me and Lord Match.
Also, why did she want to kill me? This is in the Hall of Echoes. Like, I was trying to help.
You're in the way. She thought we were elves attacking her.
No, I was a wolf.
Yeah, it's
Firstly.
not threatening at all.
I flattened down. I asked for pets. I spoke to her in wolf.
Shh, she's about to tell us something.
It's like having people at the back of the audience.
It's just like, what did she say? I didn't hear what that one over there said.
Lord Horatia, I am here on behalf of Horatia on a mission for my mother, and I am looking for the artist who paints boats. So obviously I want to speak to you and Lord Match, because I believe they are here and you might know them.
In the Hall of Echoes, I'm going to say, anyone got a clue what the fuck she's talking about?
Yes, I would guess that. My guess was that. I wonder if it's something to do with the painting. Do you remember that painting, which was a portal to somewhere else? Wouldn't it be interesting if somebody could, like Lady Doraine had paintings in her tower, and then she wanted that painting? I wonder if they're linked somehow.
I thought they was ancient.
Maybe somebody can paint new ones for her. Or maybe she's just a well-refined connoisseur of boat pictures.
All right, princess. I'll take you to Trillium, but I do have a condition.
Of course.
Assuming none of us try and harm you in any way, you ain't to kill anyone or anything without asking first. Got it?
Your speech is difficult to listen to, and your voice is rough, and your words are basic. But I understand. This is
smiling at the back.
I understand this is your area, so I listen, and let me say to you, Lord Horathia, I will only kill those who either attack me, insult me, try to steal something from me, look at me in the wrong way, or do something I dislike.
Rathia, ask her why she tried to hurt me and kill me, and she slashed my ankles when I was trying to help her, and I thought she was a baby.
I don't think this is the right time.
Look, I told you what I need. None of this looking at you funny shit. Don't kill anyone unless they threaten you or harm you in any way. That's my condition. Otherwise, you ain't coming to trimming.
All right. I agree.
Seymour relaxes visibly.
In the Hall of Echoes, I just put in, tell her Match is dead sooner rather than later, else she'll think we're stringing her on. And out loud, I say, Princess Manara, do you know why Serene is after you?
I do not know this, Serene. No. I do not know why she is after me. Do you?
Do I think she's telling the truth when she says that?
Roll insight.
Can I say into the Hall of Echoes whilst he's doing this?
Wasn't Match the one who was slave trafficking and killing children? Is she the sort of person who does that sort of thing? Can we trust her?
Well, I don't know for sure, but it seems to me she ain't after me or Match. She's after this painter, this guy who paints boats or some shit.
Indeed. She's obviously got some information that one or both know exactly where this painter is. The first thing that we have to worry about is the presence of Serene approaching Bay. I do not know how long it would take her to catch up, but we should. Simon, what do I think given that I was looking out for Serene when we approached the bay, and I got a sense of how long it would take for her to catch up?
Yep.
Like, how long do we think we've got till she gets here?
2 hours.
2 hours. Okay, so we can make 30 minutes back to the bay. We can slide down the rope or jump in the bloody water, but we can get back to the sneak boat and make it back onto the trireme within 2 hours, yeah? Yeah,
so you've got like a 20-minute walk back to the coast, then you've got to go down ropes or go around a bit. And then the journey back to the cutter. You could do all of that in an hour for sure.
What was our specific orders to the cutter and to Amelia?
I thought you were going to say from Serene.
No, I thought we told him we told him specifically to avoid Serene. But yeah. I thought we told him to bugger off and meet us somewhere else. Or did we say hang around for a bit? Because I can't honestly remember. You
said that Adelbaker basically contact them when you need them, and so to avoid contact with Serene, stay near, but move if you have to. That was the standing orders.
Princess, we need to proceed back to the boat reasonably quickly so as to avoid Serene and any complications that may arise. Are you able to travel immediately to the boat, or do you need us to fetch your belongings?
I need my things.
Can you tell me where they are?
No.
Crack on, can we just...
Okay. Are
We're
you able
supposed to
to
bring your
retrieve
things
them?
if we don't know where they are.
I don't know where they are. They're in this. And she sort of... She waves her left arm, and luckily there's nobody within reach. She sort of gestures and almost half forgets that there's this massive blade on the end. And she actually cuts through one of the bushes nearby. I don't know.
But you brought it off your ship.
Yes.
What does it look like?
I have a number of chests. I have 3 large chests.
Can I
Zainal
look
takes out a
around?
small. He's taken out something and starts writing stuff down.
Yeah. Can I look around to see, like, anywhere near the area where the foliage might have been, like, disrupted or anything like that? Because if it's a large chest, it will have kind of, bent leaves and bent branches and maybe left tracks on the ground and things like that.
Yeah, there's nothing immediately obvious. Obviously, you can do an investigation if you want to find more. But bear in mind, over the last few sessions, you've all been running around all over the place. The first time you saw her, it was around here. But she wasn't next to this location. She was a bit further out. So you'd have to do quite a wide sweep.
Rathia's going to say, "Oi, Brian, can you smell this princess's chest lying around somewhere?"
So Bran is a direwolf with black fur and a white streak, and it's currently doing a okay job of hiding, and is the only one who hasn't come out yet. Bran pokes his head out of the shrubbery where he was hiding, and sniffs the air a bit. Bran is currently nearest to Zamar and sort of sniffs the air near Zamar and goes...
I wince visibly and sidestep away, quietly, just casually move away from Bran.
Okay, and then...
trying not to move too quickly.
Okay. Having made the gap, Bran pads his way between Alethea and Horathia, and approaches the princess, sort of head down a bit, looking up at her very warily, and then starts sniffing the air. So Zamar's moved slightly, let's create some space, and Bran is now here. And then he looks over at you, Horathia, and gives you a nod.
Right. Go do it. Tell us where they are.
He looks a bit annoyed.
Go get him. Go get those chests. Fetch the chests. Go on, boy. Fetch the chests.
I'll look at him quizzically.
He rolls his eyes and turns around and walks off quite slowly.
I do not actually say that fetch the chest thing, by the way. Zamar wants to live, so he does not actually say that.
All right.
How slowly is he walking?
Alethea, Bran is walking at casual walking pace. And Adalbert, what was your question?
Before we move on, you asked for an insight roll for me during the conversation with the princess about whether she was lying.
Yes. Sorry.
Okay.
Go ahead.
It was an 11, so nothing.
Yeah, you haven't yet learned to read her. After the brief moment of laughter, she's gone quite straight-faced. So you don't know.
Okay.
One other thing, Princess. When we were asked to find you, we were told the mark was for 2. If you do not know why we were sent to find you, I wonder whether you know anything about that.
Aldri, bore somebody else with your questions.
In the Hall of Echoes, I'll say, if it ain't that necklace, it'll be in her chest. We've got the mark and the stuff she's got. Just not green expected.
What I'm gonna do is I'm going to like if Bran is walking off, I'm gonna follow Bran as a raccoon.
Okay.
Yeah. And then like I'm going to try like running to try and like encourage him to go faster.
Roll for Sweden.
As a raccoon.
Are you going to do it like how are you going to try and do this?
So I'm going to like run a little bit ahead.
Okay.
And then like kind of turn around and go like, and then like that sort of thing.
Okay. Yeah. Roll
Yeah?
for Sweden. Yeah.
I suppose the issue is, what is a raccoon's running speed versus the general pace of a dire wolf?
I can do 40 in a round.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Really?
My money's still on Bron.
No, running and action.
Oh, right. So you have a movement speed of 20 is what you're trying to say?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was a 16.
16. Okay. Bron chirps up a bit. He enjoys fooling around with you in wolf form, and kind of this raccoon form of you seems to pique his curiosity a bit. He sort of play snaps at you and then starts speeding up. He still looks unhappy. He's still lolloping along unhappily, but he's going faster.
Yeah. How long will it take to get to the chest?
It's going to take more than a few minutes. So we'll see how the others get on while waiting.
Fine.
Well, speaking of that,
Yeah.
I don't think it's worth waiting. Let's set off slowly. Bron can tell us where the baggage is.
Yes,
in
time
the
to
Hall
go.
of Echoes, I'm going to say, delay her. I'm trying to open the chest initially and pretend that something happened to them so I can have a hunt.
You got any skills in that? Opening chests?
Well, I'm the only one, aren't I? Unless,
not
someone...
really.
I'm the only one who's ahead.
Look, we'll find a way to get into the chests later. Let's just find out how big they are first. We need to get them back.
The whole gang is filled with people who are really, really good at opening chests without anyone
Do you
noticing.
think you're going to be able to do that with a woman with 6 blades around?
Yes.
She ain't going to be sitting on her chest the whole time, is she? Look, don't do it.
That's like Zabar
fact,
rolls his eyes. This is good
He
as
realizes
saying do
how
it.
rubbish that is. If you fucking do that, you're going to be in fucking trouble, all right? That's a fucking order.
I bet you we're not going to be able to get into them properly. This is a chance now. Why don't you send Zamor ahead?
Because it's fucking obvious, that's why.
We can do this. Do not worry, Lethia. Let's find the chests first. Actually, I speak out loud. Princess, how big are these chests? Can they be carried by one person, or are they small?
They are too big for you.
Each. Or together.
Each chest is a large chest, of course. I have many things.
Right. I think perhaps I should... Maybe we should go and get the drovers from the boat.
Let's see the chest. I want to see how big they are.
While this is going on, both the Hall of Echoes conversation and the out loud conversation, Adam is just kind of standing there sulkily. And he just goes to the group in the Hall of Echoes. You don't think I'm boring, do you?
No, you're not boring. She's mean. Which
That's
is
what I
why I
thought.
want to open her chest.
Ah, fucking hell. Because you're peeved. I think it's a bit more serious than that. And yes, you are fucking boring.
Says the man whose sole sense of self is killing things.
I believe that the term you were looking for was his language is basic. Says
Prude.
Zamar, trying to cheer Adalbert up.
All right, Zamar. If I remember correctly, he didn't even know how to pronounce Hull. Basic. And Adam just smiles to himself. And all is done.
We any closer to finding these chests?
So, the party order with her as you move away. So she kind of went up to stand next to you, Horatia. So as far as she's concerned, the two of you are moving together. What are the others doing? So Adalbert, Zamar, where are you going with them?
Well, my plan is to find the chests first. So I guess does it look like Bron's on the scent?
Yes, he went off in a specific direction, basically northwest from where you were.
Okay. I talked to Horatia. Horatia, I will go and find the chests and secure them once they've found them, and then I will go and retrieve the drovers to retrieve the chests. Does that sound okay by you?
You're saying this out loud, or?
Yeah.
Look, I don't want to wait with the fucking drovers. I want to see these chests. I might be able to carry them myself.
I will signal you when we find them, and I will run off into the jungle after Bron and Alithia.
You'll run off into the jungle on your own?
I said after Bron and Alithia.
On your own, okay, fine.
On my own.
You're very much by yourself at this point. All right.
In that case, I mean, the moment I'm out of sight, I'm stealthing.
Okay.
Then...
All right. Roll stealth.
14.
Okay. Alrighty. So, Adalbert, you said you were sulking. So obviously that starts you off at the back. How do you want to proceed with Horatia and Princess Mayonara?
So I'll let the princess and Horatia go ahead. I'll stay about 10 feet behind with Baha following them. Kind of as we walk in front of them, kind of lean in very quietly.
All right.
Very quiet, Baha. Do you think I'm boring?
Adalbert, if a woman like that can make you feel that you're boring, you have some serious problems. Don't listen to people like that. No, I don't think you're boring. You're a little bit quiet sometimes, but you're okay.
There's a lot to take in.
Adalbert, can I ask you a question?
Of course.
What is going on with us?
That is a question.
I know.
Horatia, did you call?
I love it. Was Baha's question in Hall of Echo? Sorry to keep on asking.
No, he's talking to Adalbert vocally and very quietly as you move through the jungle.
So did I hear Baha?
Roll perception.
Oh no.
8. So no, I guess I didn't.
Okay. No, you're oblivious to the conversation entirely. You're probably talking to Princess Mayonara at this point anyway, I would guess. So Baha puts his hand on your... So he's on your left, and he puts his hand on your left shoulder in a kind of slow down a bit and we're talking motion. What do you do?
Kind of melt into it?
Baha slows down, and as you melt, he sort of slides an arm round, so he's now sort of holding... He's put his arm around your shoulders and leans closer to you so that it's very private. As I said, we have been working together for a long time. I feel like I know you quite well, but I'm confused. I'm your bodyguard. But
because Horacio told you to be.
And I said yes.
Yes. It was my eyes, your eyes. The first time you saved me. The first of many. I always assumed I was a virgin, though.
No. It was my choice.
Oh. Oh. Good.
I just had to ask because I see you talk to people like Princess Mayonara. You're very confident and outspoken. And I enjoy our quiet times, but it makes it very difficult to read what's going on. So I just wanted you to know that I do like you.
Thank you. Thank you. It's easy. Court, all of it is a masquerade. You go in, you dance, and you put on a mask, and it's easy. It's nice that I can be myself with you. So thank you for accepting who I am. And he stops and just gives him a cuddle.
All right, Baha just stops in the middle of the jungle, and he lets you hold him. And meanwhile, his head is like moving constantly to see if there's any danger. And you can feel there's a tension in the legs if he has to burst into action. And then he suddenly relaxes a bit, and you feel a slight squeeze. And he says, Adalbert, we need to be more honest with each other.
The mask is off.
And as you hold each other in the jungle, and you hear these strange insect noises around you, and the distant hoot of an owl will end the session there.
Can I just say, not strange. Cicadas are actually really romantic.
Yeah,
I'm imagining
I
it differently
agree.
in my head.
For me, yeah, I totally agree.
Very good.
It's nice to end on a romantic note instead of total party
Sunday.
death, you know.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like, like we turned a corner there. Yeah, I feel this is good. I'm quite happy now. I'm not about to die. This is great.
I know. Yeah, it's great.
Oh yeah, plus the Adalbert thing, of course. That's good as well. That's good as well.
Oh, that was lovely.
Oh, dear.
You guys, you were great. I had all the feels.
Here we go.
All right. As usual, at the end of the session, around this time, I ask questions of the players. So if you have any questions you'd like to ask of the players or myself, please do feel free to post them in chat, and I'll do my best, although I've been pretty rubbish from time to time, to ask your questions as well. Kevin, if you need to pop off, then don't worry. I've got your questions here. Thanks for hanging out with us during the session, and good luck tomorrow. And I will find my questions. All right. Chaotic Stupid, otherwise known as Kevin, has left me a couple of questions to ask. So the first one is actually for all of you, so I'll start with this. What was the game plan for each character if it had come to a fight in the beginning? Let's talk about this session.
I think, Ellie, you should start. I wanted to run TS away. She scared the bejesus out of me. Like, she killed me twice in, under a minute.
Zaymar had a very unusual plan for him. He was essentially, if this all kicks off, I'm probably going to be dead very quickly, but hopefully Alethea is hiding really well and she'll be able to stop me dying if this goes badly. And then the other thing was just as long as Horathea and Adalbert don't do any sudden movements, I might get away with this. So yeah. That was his game plan, was die and then hope that Alethea stops him dying.
Horathea's game plan was to wail on her as much as possible and extract all the blows so that everyone else could do magic stuff.
We don't have magic stuff left, that's a problem.
You'd have found that out the hard way.
Yeah.
Matt?
And I think Adal would have tried the diplomatic approach. He knows he's not as skilled in the Masters department, but when he needs to, he has a way with words, when it's kind of his choice. So he would have tried to diffuse it, and if this type, then kind of try and held her, then diffused it. But probably just end up being, skewered whilst asking for a chest and a cup of tea.
All right.
Or wine, let's be honest, it's out of there.
Yeah. All right, a question from me for you, Matt. How much pressure as a player did you feel to break character and go and help Alethea and Zaymar?
So in what sense, Simon?
Was there a voice on your shoulder going, is there a way that I can get my character to go and help them? Or are you 100% committed to not thinking about that sort of thing?
I didn't want to run in the jungle, it's hot. And also, I think it helped kind of as a player that Chris and I kind of did take off headphones, so I had no idea what's going on. I avoided the chat. So as a player, by taking myself out of the situation, it's much easier to kind of ignore what's going on. I mean, I knew it wasn't anything good because it was in the turns combat order. But because I didn't know anything about it, it's quite easy. I felt it easier to disengage. Whereas if I was listening in, if I was kind of reading what was going on, I probably wanted to kind of, we should probably speed up her idea. But hell no, I'm not running in the jungle.
Okay, cool. So yeah, it seems like having the sound on mute was a good thing at the point.
Yeah.
All right, question from Mads. When you first faced the creature and dropped to the ground, you didn't seem very concerned. Was that really the case?
So just remind me here. Sorry, my brain's gone. At that point, could I see the creature?
Yeah. So you caught a brief flash in the lightning of the creature, but you didn't have.
It just looked like quite a small young thing, though, right? It didn't look like the massive Astravi that we're used to. They're like 7 foot.
Yeah.
Fine. So I think it was still going through her head because, you know, she'd kind of picked up on this and run with it, is that this was a baby Astravi. And so it being smaller than the 7 foot makes a lot of sense because it's still growing. And so, you know, it had the blades and things like that, but it's scared. And she's there to kind of like take care of it. So no, I don't think she was expecting, like, she knows Astravi are dangerous, but she wasn't expecting like that sort of response because she was very much trying to, like, you know, put out vibes to like calm a child down, and it wasn't a child. But yeah, I think like kids understand that sort of thing. Like they know when you're on their side, sort of thing. I don't know, I'm not a parent, but you know, those of you who are, Mr. Roberts, maybe you might be able to expound further. But yeah, essentially that was her feeling.
All right, I just have to say, Mads, that your leaves, now that I've taken away the TTS, your leaves blend perfectly with the background that I picked. I'm not perfectly, but almost perfect.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's kind of weird.
We all need leaves now.
All right, I suddenly had a vision of Ace Ventura. All right, so question for Mr. Roberts. As a player, what did you initially think was going on with Alithia and Zamar? As a player?
As a player, I thought they were getting their asses kicked. You know, two fairly squishy characters with a really, really nasty creature of some description out there. Yeah, I thought it wasn't going well.
Okay. Question for Mr. Harris. You mentioned Zamar got into trouble because he let his guard down with Alithia. After what happened, does he regret that?
Are we talking about when he when he took his hand off her mouth?
No. You were play fighting with her, and then she turned into a wolf and rode off with you.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yes.
Yeah. So that got you into trouble, obviously.
Yeah, of course. Every day he lets his guard down with Alethea, and he ends up regretting it, and it's just annoying because he doesn't seem to be able to learn. Yeah, it was. No, he doesn't. It worked out okay, but again, yeah. The thing is that he actually, like, given what actually happened, he actually thinks that is the best thing to have happened, bizarrely, because if if the whole party had come across her in one go, the entire party would have been wiped out. So he actually thought that it was better this way because it was easier to hide two people. From a strategic point of view, he thought it was a better solution. So he actually thinks it was better that way.
Alethea was using tactics.
Yeah, strategy, that's what it was.
All in the plan.
I'm not.
He was learning from Zamar.
No. That's you're just mixing up my words and sending them back to me in a different way round. I shan't hear of it again.
All right, a question from Chaotic Stupid, who left the question to me. This is a question for you, Matt. Where is Adalbert's relationship going?
This is revelation that it's two-sided. Yeah. Who knows? We shall see.
Okay. A question for Mads. What was going through your mind as a player after you first went unconscious?
When I first went unconscious, it was scary, but I was still not actively fighting or anything like that, and I thought maybe this is, some sort of misunderstanding, and then, Zamar's here, he'll revive me, and then things will be okay. It was the second time that was scary, and the fact that it was just so decisive and brutal, and then, the fact that she'd kind of made me completely, vulnerable by, even if I did come to, slashing someone's, Achilles on both sides in, this, big, dense forest where God knows what else is. That's pretty cold. Yeah.
Yep. All right, question from Mr. Roberts. You mentioned that Harathia considers if someone does something foolish, then their fate is in their hands. Is that something he's seen before?
Is in someone doing something foolish and copping the penalty? Yeah, he'll have seen that plenty of times. He's done umpteen jobs for the Golden Leaf Gang, and he'll have taken new people on jobs or people he wasn't familiar with, and he'd have seen them die right in front of him. And in a way, that's just weeding out the incompetence. If you're going to do something foolish, then you're going to cop the consequences. I mean, there's some nuance to that, because he's trying to break these people in who are not what would normally be gang material, because they got skills that are new to Harathia and useful, obviously, given the world situation. So he's not completely. I say if Alethea does something foolish, but then it's more like when Alethea does something foolish. he's not going to deliberately just let her die. But the fact that he just sauntered for a couple of rounds without going to help is probably indicative of the fact that, foolish people die, and that's probably a good thing.
All right. Question from Mr. Harris.
All right, wait till next time I have to heal you.
Just gonna wait a couple of rounds.
Yeah. No, I'm joking.
It's fine.
It's just a scratch.
No, that would be metagaming.
That would be metagaming, yes.
I don't need healing. It's just a scratch.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I had a crossbow bolt in my chest, and that was a scratch.
I remember.
Question from Mr. Harris. What was going through your mind as a player after you first went unconscious?
Actually, they're very similar to Mads, basically. It was like the fact that I went down immediately, which was like, whoa, that was a bit harsh. And then it was like, well, I'm not dead, so something's going on here. So again, it was just maybe it was like immediately it was like that was probably some kind of defensive action. So as long as I don't trigger it next time, probably going to be okay. And obviously, like for Zamar, he actually kind of like once he starts knowing the rules, he can start working within the boundaries. So for him, he was like he got quite a lot of information out of that, which was again why he was saying it worked out strategically for him.
Yeah,
that's what led him to believe that he could reason with this, as opposed to just running away or fighting and dying or whatever. So for him, everything is about getting information. So that was so from a player's point of view, I was like, he'd probably think this after that, as opposed to just running blindly away. But he would still try and get to Alithia. So that was the next thing. Was like, this will be interesting to see whether I can actually make it over to Alithia and heal her. And where's those bloody good berries?
Oh yeah, I meant to. I put a note in and I forgot. I meant to get a Goodberry count from everyone. We'll do that next time. Question for actually before we go to the final round of questions, as I mentioned earlier, if you're watching and have a question, then please do put it into chat, and I'll ask on your behalf. Question for Matt. Adalbert mentioned that he always has people to do things for him. Is he aware how that sounds?
Yes, that's the point.
All right. Mads, do you have a backup character?
No, I don't. I've been playing this character for like a year. I'm like, obviously, it's fun to make characters just for funsies. But oh my god, I will actually be devastated if Alithia dies. She's my first D&D like proper campaign character. I'm not ready for her to die yet. She's got a lot more stories to tell.
That's true. That is very true. Yeah. All right. Miss Roberts, you tried to make a stand on a rock when you first thought the creature was heading your way. What made Horathia think the second time round would be any different? Meaning, when you said let's make a stand on the rock, everyone just ran away.
Yeah, well, words will probably be had because the sort of, ability to sort of follow instructions is sadly lacking. But the second thing on the rock, was slightly different. We were laying in wait for an ambush in the first instance. In the second, we were laying low to try and heal up.
Yeah.
So, if we'd been sufficiently hidden, or maybe not hidden just 3 feet away from where she last encountered Alithia, we might have been successful in having that time to rest. But Horathia's modus operandi is think of a plan, stick to it, do that until shit happens, which it always does, and then adjust. So plan, do it. It's basically that. So obviously it didn't work out, but then it hasn't gone completely pear-shaped either.
No. All worked out, kind of. And final question for Mr. Harris. We saw a different side to Zamar when he put his hand over Alithia's mouth. Is that closer to who he really is?
There's no real telling which way is closer to who Zamar really is. So it's just what he is in the moment. He's fairly multifaceted when it comes to those things. What he really wanted to do was to just he'd gone back to save Alithia, and it was really clear that she understands that she was actually in true danger at this point, and so he was trying to emote that in the best way that he could, and it didn't really work. So yeah, it's like, is it? Yeah. It's difficult to say. I couldn't tell you whether that's closer to Zamar or not. It's just, he changes his personality and everything, like flips around from one moment to the next depending on the situation. So yeah, I don't know, maybe it was, maybe it wasn't, I don't know.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, that moment in...
How is he different? I don't quite understand. How is he different?
Either be the DM, like I was, my privilege last session, or watch the stream back, because that moment, the entire atmosphere just changed for that like brief moment. It was quite a, it's quite a significant moment, I think.
Oh right.
Yeah, you should watch it back.
Okay, I'll have to watch it back.
Or I'll find a clip.
Fine.
I might make a clip of it.
He basically went into he was a little bit part assassin mode, kind of. Yeah, exactly. It was just I know exactly what you mean, basically. Exactly. He was, I think what you saw there, if you go back and you see it, is you'll see, like I say, you'll see probably original Zamar, I would say, as opposed to closer to who he is. I would say maybe that's probably.
That was an interesting moment. It was an interesting moment. All right, cool. So we'll end the stream there. I am going to do a raid on Check These Out, and I carefully planned the link and then saved it on my phone and threw my phone onto the sofa. So, so I now have to look it up again.
Oh man, like this tech stuff, it's really hard.
Yeah. So I need to find. So I need the full name. I think it's just okay. Capitals.
But before we go, I think we should try and do some shout outs and things.
Yeah, go for it while I'm faffing.
Yeah, while you're doing that. So, everyone, if you like watching stuff on Twitch, there is a wonderful project done by our very own Kevin called Tabletop TV, and there are lots and lots of fantastic streamers on there. We're all about kind of supporting people in the community. They're really, really nice and personable, really lovely to speak to. So go check their streams out. We host a lot of them, so have a look down below. The other thing is thank you to everyone who's been engaging and interacting with us on Twitter. Please follow us there. And then the final thing is we are on 74 followers at the moment.
Yeah.
We are very close to 100. And if we can reach 100, there may be something special going on. We will hear a little bit about more of that next week. But watch this space. Because this is exciting, guys. Like finally triple numbers. Yes, and just thank you to everyone in the tabletop RPG community. They've been so supportive and so kind, like
indeed,
lifting everyone up. So let's keep doing that.
Good
cool.
fun.
Thank you for joining us, and please do stick around for Check These Out. I'm going to raid them now, and see you next week.